Building a strong and effective team goes far beyond bringing together people with different skills. The foundation of any group that wants to achieve common goals is, without a doubt, trust. It's this trust that allows each member to feel safe to share ideas, take on responsibilities, and collaborate without fear of judgment or betrayal. When we trust those around us, we can go further, overcoming challenges that will be nearly impossible alone. But unfortunately, this trust isn't always well placed. Sometimes those we believe to be allies may actually be acting against the collective good. And it's precisely this reality check that brings such moving and impactful stories, which make us reflect on the true essence of teamwork and the importance of choosing wisely those who walk alongside us. At first, everything seemed normal. Laughter, mutual support, and a feeling of working with people who genuinely wanted the best of the group. But as time went on, small, uncomfortable details began to emerge. Information that wasn't arriving, promises unfulfilled, actions that seemed to contradict what had been agreed upon. These subtle signs often go unnoticed because we rely too heavily on our initial perception and the idea that the team is a safe space. However, it's precisely in these small details that cracks in trust begin to form. It's as if something is out of place, a silent discomfort that, if ignored, can turn into a much bigger problem. From that moment on, a journey of questioning begins that will deeply affect the emotions and expectations of everyone involved. After the first strange signs, doubt begins to creep in. That solid trust begins to waver, and what once seemed certain is now questioned. The mind keeps trying to fit together the pieces that don't make sense. Why didn't so-and-so share that important information? Why was that decision made in secret? And even more difficult, am I being naive in believing that everyone here really wants the same thing? This insecurity is distressing because it not only undermines professional relationships, but also emotional ones. The feeling of playing alone begins to creep in, bringing fear, frustration, and even a sense of betrayal. It's a delicate moment in which you try to find evidence, confirm facts, but without losing hope that everything can work out. Then comes the inevitable moment of revelation. You discover who is really behind those seemingly disjointed gestures, who was sabotaging the efforts, acting in their own interests, or even betraying the group's trust. This discovery can come in many forms. A leaked conversation, irrefutable evidence, or even the behavior of the person who can no longer hide their true colors. It's a huge shock, a mixture of disbelief and profound disappointment. After all, how could someone with whom you share dreams and responsibilities act like this? This revelation is not only a painful moment, but also a turning point, forcing the team to confront reality and decide how to move forward in the face of this crisis. When someone within a team acts dishonestly or selfishly, the effect can be devastating for everyone involved. It's not just an individual mistake. The consequences reverberate, creating a chain reaction that affects productivity, team spirit, and even the emotional health of the team. Projects are delayed, motivation drops, and the sense of unity begins to crumble. Furthermore, the impact extends beyond work. It can generate distrust that extends to other areas of life, increasing stress and feelings of insecurity. It's as if the collective effort is undermined by an attitude that only benefits one person, harming everyone else. This highlights the delicate nature of group dynamics and the importance of cultivating solid values and transparency from the outset. Unfortunately, cases of betrayal and disloyalty within teams are not uncommon. We often hear stories of people who trusted colleagues completely, only to discover they were being sabotaged or that their efforts were being used to benefit others' personal interests. For example, there have been situations where a team member shared confidential information with competitors or manipulated results to gain individual prominence at the expense of others. These stories carry a strong emotional toll, but they also serve as a warning to all of us. They show that, no matter how much we trust, it's important to be vigilant and have mechanisms in place to protect the group, preventing distrust from taking over. Discovering that someone you trusted is actually acting against the team causes a profound emotional shock. It's as if a secure foundation suddenly collapses, leaving a feeling of vulnerability that's difficult to overcome. The feeling of betrayal shakes self-esteem and can generate a whirlwind of emotions: sadness, anger, confusion, and even guilt for not realizing it sooner. Many people feel exposed, as if they're alone in a battle that should be a collective one. This moment is painful, but also crucial for personal growth, as it teaches us how to deal with frustration and the importance of strengthening our resilience in the face of adversity. After experiencing a negative experience, it becomes clearer how some signs, which previously went unnoticed, are essential for identifying potential problems. These warning signs can include behaviors such as a lack of transparency, evasive communication, inconsistencies in shared information, or attitudes that undermine the work of others. It's also worth paying attention to patterns of excessive individualism, resistance to collaboration, or accepting feedback. Recognizing these signs is crucial to taking action before the situation deteriorates further. Creating an environment where open dialogue is encouraged helps detect and resolve conflicts early, strengthening trust and team harmony. When the truth comes out, the team faces a critical moment. Reactions can vary greatly. Some may feel betrayed and seek to distance themselves from the person involved, while others may try to understand the motivations behind behavior. The initial shock often gives way to intense debates, discussions about the group's future, and even internal conflicts. This is a decisive moment, because how the team handles the situation will determine whether it will be strengthened or fragmented. Unity depends on the group's ability to transform this crisis into a learning opportunity, defining new values and strategies to prevent something similar from happening again. In the midst of internal crises, communication becomes the most powerful tool for rebuilding bridges and aligning expectations. It's essential that everyone has the space to express their perceptions, feelings, and concerns openly and respectfully. Active, non-judgmental listening helps reduce tension and understand different perspectives. Furthermore, establishing transparent channels for sharing information prevents misunderstandings and creates an environment where trust can be renewed. Without clear and constant communication, resentment can build and further undermine the team, making overcoming the crisis much more difficult. Experiencing a situation in which someone we trusted disappoints us is painful, but offers valuable lessons. These experiences often make us more attentive, critical, and prepared to handle future relationships, whether at work or in our personal lives. We learn the importance of establishing clear boundaries and valuing transparency above all else. We also develop a greater capacity for emotional resilience, understanding that although trust can be shaken, it can be rebuilt with time and effort. Furthermore, these situations make us reflect on what we truly expect from others and from ourselves, strengthening our character and our vision of teamwork. Rebuilding trust isn't easy, much less quick, but it's possible when everyone involved has a genuine desire. The first step is to acknowledge mistakes and offer a sincere apology. Honesty is essential to begin the healing process. Then, it's necessary to create an environment of transparency, where actions speak louder than words. Establishing clear commitments and closely monitoring their fulfillment helps reinforce this new phase. Furthermore, cultivating open dialogue, where everyone can express their doubts and feelings without fear, is essential. With patience and collective effort, the team can emerge stronger and more united, transforming adversity into learning experiences. Even after major disappointments and conflicts, many teams manage to bounce back even stronger. There are moving stories of teams that, faced with betrayal, chose to communicate, forgive, and join forces to overcome the crisis. These experiences show that, with empathy and commitment, it's possible to transform a difficult moment into an opportunity to renew the group's culture. In some situations, overcoming difficulties has created deeper bonds between members, strengthening collaboration and motivation to achieve greater goals. These stories inspire us to never give up on a team's potential, even when all seems lost. A strong team starts with carefully selecting its members. It's not enough to simply assess technical skills. It's also important to consider values, ethics, and the ability to work collaboratively. Investing time in understanding each person's profile, behavior, and motivations helps avoid unpleasant surprises in the future. When we select people aligned with the group's culture and goals, we increase the chances of forming a cohesive, trustworthy team prepared to face challenges. Furthermore, this conscious choice reduces the risk of conflict and betrayal, making the environment healthier and more productive for everyone. We've reached the end of this reflection on the importance of trust, the challenges of dealing with disappointment, and how to overcome crises within a team. Each story and experience teaches us that, despite difficulties, It's possible to grow and strengthen our bonds when we are transparent, patient, and committed. Now, I want to hear from you. What's the greatest lesson you've ever learned working on a team? Leave your comment here and share your experience. And if you enjoyed this content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to receive more exciting stories and tips on teamwork. Together, we'll build better environments for everyone.